Hello, I'm Joey Foley, Senior Sales Engineer at Yellowbrick. Today, we're going to be talking about data warehousing for distributed clouds, and we'll do a demo walkthrough of some new exciting software that we have. Today's agenda, we'll be talking about distributed clouds and what that means, the Yellowbrick Manager, and then we'll be doing a demo. So distributed clouds, what is it? So distributed clouds are characterized by the deployment of cloud software and hardware stacks outside of the public cloud provider's data center. You could think of it as a mesh of interconnected cloud resources to form a best-of-breed logical cloud. These stacks enable the ability to run applications developed for the public cloud in a company's own data center and in other locations, such as multi-access edge computing centers connected to 5G cell towers, or on a factory floor to support IoT applications in manufacturing. The distributed cloud offers reduced latency, increased data sovereignty, higher security, addresses data gravity requirements, and provides uniformity in terms of infrastructure and services. Distributed clouds also provide support for cloud applications in remote locations, which may be only intermittently connected to the internet, if at all. So can anyone do this? Well, no, or barely. If you're bound to a public cloud provider, you can't live at the edge or on-premise. Further, if your database is on 30-year-old technology, you're probably not efficient at running at the edge on a limited number of CPUs. Yellowbrick was written from the ground up to be efficient on any platform, on-premise, in public or private clouds, or on optimized instances, or Kubernetes, or even at the edge with limited resources. Yellowbrick Manager provides a uniform control system that uses Kubernetes container orchestration system to enable users to manage and control both cloud and on-premise deployments with enhanced performance capability. So next, let's talk about the demo environment that we have set up. So for the cloud environment, we're going to be running the Yellowbrick Manager software off of a laptop, my laptop, located in Austin, Texas. That laptop is also going to be connected to an instance in AWS US West 2, an instance in San Diego, California, and also an instance in Ashburn, Virginia. So let's get into the demo. So let's log into this environment on my desktop. So let's go to our instances. You can see there's 3 instances here. The one on my laptop, which is local. There's YB62 located in our YB Cloud East. That's in Ashburn, Virginia. And YB92 located in Salt Lake City. Drilling into Salt Lake City, we can see there's 10 databases. We're going to drill in here. There's a database Summit REPL source. As you can see, there's no tables. That's where we're going to create data. Here, YB62, that's the target of the replication. So let's go take a look at how we set that up. Here we create the database, and then we create a replica, and there's a frequency of about 5 seconds. Now let's create a table and put some data into it. There, we've created a table. Now let's insert a couple of rows. That's done. Let's run over here and see that new data, if it's, a second, refreshing, and let's drill in. Now we can see that test replica, and we can see there's 8 rows there. Let's run these other tables real quick, get those created and replicating. That one's 100 million rows, a couple thousand or million in these other tables. So run these. Now let's jump over to 62. So 62, let's get our target database here. And we want that replication target. As you can see, that table is replicated now. And let's drill in here, and we can see the 8 rows that are created here, 1 through 8. Yellowbrick is awesome. Data warehousing for distributed clouds. All right. We've got a couple other tables that we created over there on YB91. We can see those have created. Let's take a look at those tables. So there's Summit, drilling in.
we can see there's a couple tables now. So customer 1945, it's got about 42 million rows plus. Date down, not much there. Store returns, though, that's where we did the 100 million rows. Okay, and there's also in the background going to be some scripts that are kicking off, but let's see where those tables are on replicating over. So drill in here. Let's see if those other tables have gotten copied over yet. Not quite yet, so might be moving across. Remember, we're moving data from Salt Lake to Ashburn, so it takes a minute to get that data across the country. We're also starting streaming inserts. You might see those tables show up here quickly. So there's those first tables that we created. They're all here, 100 million rows. Look, that's like 10 gigs, a couple of seconds or so for it to come on over. Now let's go look at this inserts. All right, here's the inserts table. Let me refresh real quick, make sure the data gets pulled in by the manager. All right, we've got more tables now. This dimension has been streaming data for just a couple minutes, maybe a minute. 536,000 rows. This fact table, we've already streamed in 1.4 million rows. This other fact, let's see where we're at on it. 1.8 million rows have been streaming into this. Now, we're also going to replicate that data, but let's get a count of the idea of how many rows are there right now. So 91, we're going to set to the source. Let's run this query to see how many rows have been inserted into this table. So quite a bit, right? So dimension, about 872,000. Fact, about 2.4 million. So quite a bit of data. Now, let's go see if any of this data has been replicated over. So we're going to jump over to YB62. Let's set our database here. Let's drill in here. We can see all the tables are there. Okay, so let's get a count, and we'll run this. And okay, not that much data, but remember, every 5 seconds it's going to update with more replication. So let's run it again. There you go. Look at that. That's a lot, a lot more rows moved over. 1.5 million rows there for that fact table. So let's run it again. In between replications, probably. So you can see how replication enables data warehousing for distributed clouds. We can decide where we want to create data and where we want to consume that data, and replication will automatically move that. This is what distributed cloud data warehousing is all about. All right, for this last part of the presentation, what I'd like to do is show you some things running on my local laptop. So we're going to be dealing with this instance laptop 2. It's running on my laptop. We'll drill in here. So as we can see, this is a 2-node system. There's about 8 gigs total. So you can think of this as like limited resources running at the edge. And what can we do with that? We have 6 different databases. So we've got this Summit database that we're going to be streaming data into. I have a Python process that's already kicked off, has begun streaming data. You can see since the beginning of this conversation, streamed in about 1.1 million rows. So that's pretty good for an edge node, right? Let's go take a look here. Let's see how many rows came in over the last time frames. So I have a query here. We're going to be going against this. Oh, we've got a couple more tables here to look at. So let's take a look at this guy here. Let's see if we can catch him while he's streaming data. All right, so about 70,000 rows in the last minute. Over here we can look and we can see that there's about 1.1 million rows that was streamed in over the last 5-minute time frame. So again, this is what we see edge nodes being used for: streaming data, IoT devices, alerts on manufacturing floors, things of that nature. And so with the resources of this single laptop, we can get quite a bit of work done. So let's update this here. So again, we are streaming data as we're talking and building new rows and new tables. So now there's more tables. We got 6 tables, about 1.6 million rows. Let's do this count here. We'll associate this with laptop 2. Yes, Summit database. And then we're going to run a query here against that fact2 that was kind of a little more quickly generated. So within a minute, about 300,000 rows were streamed in. Let's take a count across all these tables that we've been streaming data into. And again, when we started talking, there was no data in any of these tables, and they didn't even exist. So let's see if all these tables, we can get a count of how many rows we're going into each one of these tables. So here we have DIM 1's already at 2.1 million rows, and we've been talking for about 3 minutes here. So that's a lot of data we're getting in here relatively quickly, right? Let's see if we can capture this one again. See if we can see some more real-time streaming that's happening in this environment. Here we go. Wow, that's a lot. So that's 480,000 records in about 5 seconds. So close to 100,000 rows per second. Again, we're doing this on a laptop with a limited number of resources. So you can really see how Yellowbrick can spawn from very small instances to very large instances like we were showing you with the replication. So lots of things we can do here with different instances.
So as you can see, Yellowbrick offers breakthrough price and performance for any type of use case. We can do 100x performance improvement over most SQL analytical processes that we encounter. We support thousands of concurrent users, and we do that at any scale. During the demo, you saw a few gigabytes being loaded onto a laptop, but being streamed in at high rates. We also can do the same thing and scale all the way up to multiple petabytes of data. And we could do all of this with about an 80% cost savings to you. So get started with a fast and free test drive. Yellowbrick offers a free 7-day trial. You get to use the Yellowbrick Manager, as you saw me using today. You can run SQL queries and test your tools against that same database. You can try our bulk loading service, and you can sign up today at yellowbrick.com/test drive. I want to thank you again for joining us for Data Warehousing for Distributed Clouds.